Good evening. It's 5:35 on Wednesday, July 12th, 2017. It is the monthly meeting of the Urbana Human Relations Commission. Could we please have a roll call?
Frances Rigberg Baker.
Here.
Carol Bradford.
Here.
Stacy Burnett. Lisa Mosley.
Here.
Daniel Larson.
Here.
Peter Resnick. Samuel Bynum.
Here.
Catalina Thomas.
Here.
Basilia Clark. Preston James.
Here.
Thank you. Looking over tonight's agenda, are there any additions, edits, corrections, or is there a motion to approve?
I move we approve the minutes.
I second it.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Thank you. Looking over the minutes from our June 28th meeting that we just had, which was very successful, where we also had a little training. Looking over those minutes, are there any additions, edits, or corrections that need to be made? If not, is there a motion to approve?
One correction.
Please.
Stacy Burnett was not here, so I'm assuming I probably made this motion on page 2, under number 7.
You did. That is correct. I will
Okay.
make the corrections in
Okay.
there.
Any other edits or additions that need to be made? If not, is there a motion to approve?
I move we approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, with that, Carol's correction, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. All righty, our next item of business is public participation. Seeing none, hearing none, we can move on to, we have no old business, and maybe I should have amended this. Do we need a motion to cancel next month's meeting? Well, historically in the past, we've often given everybody at least 1 month off over the summer. Usually we pick August, kids going back to school, things like that. Is that something we want to do, continue, or I should ask first? I didn't mean to presuppose we were going to cancel. We might have a business next month that you'd like us to be here for, or
Well, I would suffer through and
with the cancellation?
the cancellation if you guys so decide.
Okay.
My only concern about that is taking action where it's not an agenda item,
Yeah.
where you actually vote. So maybe you can just agree in theory,
Okay.
something.
All righty, agreement. All righty. We also have no old business, no new business, so I guess we can jump right to the staff report. Where would you like us to begin, Vasilia?
Everybody should have an update.
Everybody should have an updated copy of the stats. I guess I should start off by asking if you have any questions.
So one new application and 5 renewals?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Thank you for coordinating this as always. I'll just read the staff recommendations so we can
Yes.
move to a motion. So we have, our new application is Clean Nurseries. I apologize if I'm not saying that right. We have a staff recommendation of 2 years. Of our renewals, we have Carl Foundation. We have a 1-year recommendation. For Crawford, Murphy, and Tilly, we have a 1-year recommendation. For Davis Hawk Mechanical, we have a 6-month recommendation. For Health Alliance Medical Plans, we have a 1-year recommendation. And finally, for Horror Construction, we have 6-month recommendation. Is there a motion to approve to get to discussion? Or any initial questions for Vasilia or anyone else? Fran?
Did you just move?
I did not.
You just read them.
I just read them off.
For purpose of discussion, I move that the staff recommendations be adopted.
Great. Thank you, Fran. Is there a second?
Second.
All righty, discussion. Is anything jumping out at folks that they'd like to talk about a little bit?
These look good to me.
If you know someone personally on this list, do I have to recuse myself?
How personal.
Family, friend?
Oh.
Just for the sake of being clean, I would.
Okay. So we need to separate out Davis Hulk. Old family friend,
Sure.
that I will recuse myself from on that motion.
I'd just like to comment on the Klein or whatever, the nurseries. It looks like, it seems to me, it's been my observation that nursery jobs have been a good way for a lot of immigrants to enter the workforce and learn skills and then be able to use those further and have a career in that area. And so it's a nice thing to see that.
Gosh, that's going to be one of the
Reflected in
highest
their statistics.
representations I think
Yes.
we've ever seen as a commission.
Well, Monique and I were a little curious about this, and so we looked up some demographics on this particular company. And they're in a little town called Perry, Ohio, right? And so we were curious as to, Perry, Ohio, what does that look like? Well, the population is 96.23% white and 0.90% African American, and it is 2.51% Hispanic. So when you look at their numbers, I think they are well represented in terms of the Hispanic population, with very, very little opportunities in terms of the demographics for the African American population there. So
We have to separate them.
that's why we recommended the 2 years.
Well, it shows that they're willing to hire, and that word probably gets out, and people will go there.
Yes.
Crawford, Murphy, and Tillett, are we okay with the percentage of minorities within numbers, or just small numbers?
There are 267.
I would like to say that there are 3 companies here that are kind of disappointing. That one that you just mentioned, Carol, and also the Davis Houck and the Health Alliance of all seem to have lost ground.
Well, they have, and that's why you have a 1-year recommendation rather than the 2 years for them.
Well, I only have a 6-month.
I'm sorry, David
Oh,
Hulk,
the Hulk.
mechanical, 6 months, yeah.
Yeah, and that's good. Just wondering about the other 2 on either side of that.
And Health Alliance is the local
Mhm.
Health Alliance, correct?
It must be.
Yes.
Yeah, just 40, no, it's 400.
So I guess depending on if you look at women as one of the minority groups, because that's their largest number group. If
Mhm.
you look at race and ethnicity, it's not very good.
No, right. And it's not moving in the right direction, it seems. The overall percentage is not bad, 14 and 13, but it looks like the change in the total population was almost entirely African American.
Yeah, the Latino numbers went up.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know, it just. I looked at it twice, and it's gonna just get the same rating that it got last time. And yeah, it seems, well, it lost some ground in one area and gained in another, so maybe that's okay. Again, it's hard for me to look at like this Crawford, Murphy, and Tilly and see that they hired 9 people, and there's a drop in the African American, there's a drop in the Latino, the Asians held the same, and so on. It's makes me wonder if they're looking to improve their profile.
There is a letter that goes out to the vendors when they have 1 year or 2 year, 1 year or 6 month approvals that indicates areas of improvement that they need to work on for the next round of approvals. So it would be noted in that letter to Health Alliance our areas of concern.
Specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's good because then it shows that we're watching at that level. So that's good, yeah.
Are there any other questions, observations, comments?
No, these look good to me. I am also concerned about Carl Foundation numbers, year after year as well, being one of the largest employers in Urbana. And knowing that they have jobs of all levels at the hospital. So, no, these, I would say, are good recommendations.
Well, for purposes of voting, we need to actually split the amendment, the proposal. So we are currently discussing a motion to approve Klein Nurseries for 2 years, Carl Foundation for 1, Crawford, Murphy, and Tilly for 1, Health Alliance Medical for 1, and Horror Construction for 6 months. Any final discussion or comments, or? Okay. All those in favor of those recommendations, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same? And Pete's gonna,
Okay, so, was there already a motion on the table for?
Yes.
technically, yeah.
Okay, so we're just on the motion for Davis House Mechanical, Davis Hoke Mechanical for 6 months. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you, Peter. Cecilia, where would you like us to go next? I'm sorry to.
Thank you. I'd like to discuss just briefly where we are with some of the older cases that we've been working on. We have managed to close a total of 5 of the cases. 4 of the 5 was closed out with no probable cause findings. And let's see, 3 were race-based cases, and 1 was an accommodations under ADA. The 5th case, we managed to get a negotiated settlement for the complainant. So that's where we are. We have a few more that we're working on, and hopefully, let's see, all of these people that I've just mentioned have until July 28th to appeal to the commission if they wanted to. But in our September meeting, we should have pretty much closed out all of those things that are, still lingering for us in terms of the cases. And Todd and I are both working on those. Okay.
Thank you.
The other thing is Preston James, who is part of the Human Relations Office, has been working very diligently in community outreach activities. So I've asked him to take about a couple of minutes just to bring the commission up to speed on the types of activities he's been involved in.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So we'll start with today and go backwards. So went to the Community Coalition meeting, which we have every second Wednesday of every month. I am involved in many committees that kind of ties into the Community Coalition. One of the ones that I presented on today was the Racial Taboo Committee. If you're not familiar with Racial Taboo, we've brought the film to our area for 11 public showings, and we've done 3 closed showings. The closed one was for a select group that we picked out, like police staff and other people of the community that we felt would be the ones to tell the word early. So in total, we've had a total of about 1,400 people that have seen the film this year. We're looking at going into more a targeting approach. We've had the majority of our participants have been women. I think mainly because you care more and your hearts are bigger, right? So we're going to try to target our next target may be for our men to have a all men viewing. If you're interested in seeing it soon, there is a showing going on in Decatur, which is through us. It's just an extension. It will be Saturday, July 29th from 2 to 5 p.m. at their public library. So along those same lines, we also, from our HR department, are going to a few of us are going to the 2017 Regional Neighborhood Network Conference. From my understanding, it was here last year. I was still in PD, so I wasn't too privy to that information. But that will be in Evansville, Indiana, from October 5th through the 7th. The reason I kind of bring this up, even though it's in Evansville, the city of Champaign is willing to pay the $100 registration fee, and it would be for our group. The people who would attend would be responsible for your own lodging and food, but the registration will be paid for, and I can get you the link later if you'd like, if anybody in here would be interested in attending. We also have been, since we've met, I believe, we had a successful Jetty Roads Day at King Park. We had great participation. The chiefs and mayors, and we had PD represented, the fire department represented, and the food was excellent. So we had a great time there. Our next kind of collaborative thing we have is the National Night Out, which will be August 1st. That will be at Beardsley Park. We will be participating with them, sharing information and things of that nature. And then our CU Day, of course, is coming up, which we are involved in, which is August 12th at Douglas Park. Then our Walk is One. I'm sure you guys are familiar with our Walk is One. That's coming up on September 14th. The time is still up in the air and where they launch from, but that will be coming out here soon.
Do you know
Yes,
what day of
ma'am.
the week that is?
It is on a Thursday, yes, ma'am.
I thought it was usually during the week. So.
Yes. So is there any questions about anything? Any
What was that
ideas
date
that
again
you?
for Walk is One?
The Walk is One, September 14th. That's a
Thank-
Thursday.
Thank you.
Could you, Preston, tell us a little bit about what goes on, although I know you might not have been to one, and I forgot the name of it already, in Indiana, the group of people that are
Okay,
going
well,
over.
I did a little bit of research when I got the information. So, what can't give you like real in-depth details, but it's a workshop basically. Some of the topics that they cover is police community engagement, building financial security within neighborhoods. They range from, I'm trying to think of some of the things that were on there.
I think, to help you out a little bit, Preston, I think some of the activities, and Preston can send you the link, and with that link is a breakdown of the workshops.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, I don't expect, yeah, in all my years, I haven't attended training, and so that's during my school year, but if there's flexibility, I definitely like to bring back ideas to the group.
Absolutely.
I think it would be a great workshop myself, because it seems to hit on the areas of policing, community development kinds of issues, and what was
Financial government. I mean,
Yeah.
it covers a lot of different workshops. So they have what I observed. They have different sessions
Right.
throughout the day, and then they have, like, you can pick room. For example, A1. And it have this topic, and B2 would have this topic during that time slot.
Yeah. if you
So
would
I
share
will
that.
send this information out to you guys. I'll be able to get your emails from Monique and Vasilia. And if there is a deadline for the bus, because Champaign is also providing a bus for transportation.
Oh, okay.
So we would need to know on our end by August 1st,
Okay.
if you're good. One more thing I wanted to kind of touch on is we also are engaged in this show called Cops Corner, which is on the Urbana Public Television. I'm the host. I have different
Seen it.
guests on. Our last one we just had investigator Dwayne Smith on, and he is our like financial crimes expert. And we spoke about how to try to avoid the pitfalls of giving information over the phone, someone calling you from a spoof number that says Champaign Police, and saying that we're coming to get you from the IRS and you have a
Yes,
warrant.
I had that.
And that's a scam,
Yeah.
right? So Champaign, the IRS has their
I
own
proceeded to
muscle,
hang up, yeah.
and they don't use us for it, right? So, but I bring that up because if you're interested in different laws and different topics in reference to law and community police engagement, that's a good show to look up. It's on YouTube. It should be on our city website and social media.
Great.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you.
There's one other thing that I'd like to mention that involves Preston is the Civilian Police Review Board.
Oh, yes.
At our next meeting, which is the 26th, I believe, of
26th, yes.
July, there is going to be a gentleman from PTI that's going to be
Mike
presenting
Slosher, correct.
about
Use of force.
use of force. So if you don't have anything to do around 5:30 or so, you come on out and enjoy the presentation. I'm sure it'll be very informative and very interesting. So that's the 26th of July.
That's correct. Any questions about that? All right.
Thank you, Preston.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move right along to the budget report.
All right, since our last meeting that we had a week and a half ago, we have had a couple expenditures. We did spend $500 for the trainer, Donald Jackson, and we spent a total of $88.21 for the meal that was provided for that training.
Thank you.
You're welcome. With a total of $588.21 is what we spent in total since the last meeting, leaving our ending balance at $911.79.
Thank you, Monique.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, are there any announcements for tonight? Carol, please.
That I forgot to announce whenever it happened. So I just wanted to let everyone know that I am participating in a group, National Council for Behavioral Health has a leadership cohort that they sponsor every year. This one is addressing health disparities, and it's about access to health care, including mental health and substance abuse treatment for minorities, LGBTQ, people with disabilities. And I am actually participating in that, and I'm actually getting ready to go to the second cohort meeting the second week of August down in New Orleans. But so they had over 120 applicants. They chose 35 people throughout the U.S., and I was one of them, and I'm very happy because I'm learning a lot, and I'm actually getting a lot of materials that may be of use to us at some point. As part of this participating, you get a coach and you do a monthly webinar, you get put into a little buddy group, and we have homework assignments we have to do, but we also have to do a stretch project. So I just wanted to share with you all, my stretch project is actually going to involve making sure that the LGBTQ individuals in our community have equal access to substance abuse treatment. That we create safe spaces, that we have allies in those environments, and that we make sure that the treatment services we're offering are taking into consideration any issues or concerns that someone from that group would have. And so I just wanted to share that. I'm learning a lot. This is our second meeting, and we'll actually wrap up in October. I'll actually have to do a poster presentation in October on my stretch project. But it kind of ties in with what we do here, so I wanted to share that with the group.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Let us know if we can help. Any other announcements?
I just want to make a request for you guys to start giving some thought to a major project you would like to host over the next fiscal year. Any ideas or suggestions, you can start filtering them to Monique. I think you all have her email address. But I think it's important for us to be visible. I think it's important that we have name recognition in the community. And I have always been very high on this commission in terms of the quality of people who have served currently and in the past on it. So I really want to kind of rev things up a little bit. So give some thought to what kind of, just one major project for the fiscal year that you would like to put your names on.
Great, thank you. It's a great idea. Any final announcements? So we will not be having our summer tradition. We'll not be having a meeting in August, so we'll see everybody back here in September. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of their summer, and this meeting is adjourned.